Right, 5. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's call the district board meeting to order, May 15th. Time the appointment.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Aldrich.
Here.
Beckman. Here. Fox. Here. Plain.
Here.
Bullen.
Here.
And.
Here. And Scott Phelps is, excused.
Okay.
Please silence your cell phone. I can even do live. We have approval of the agenda, please.
I'll support.
And motion by Fox and second by Beckman to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion?
Can I just let everybody talk a little louder, because
Oh, yeah.
the room is hard to hear.
Yeah.
And we're usually facing each other.
I know.
With no discussion, all those in favor, please say yes. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yeah.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We have approval of the minutes of the April 17th meeting, please.
I move to approve the minutes of April 17, 2023. A second.
And a motion by Aldrich and a second by North to approve the minutes of the April 17th meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yeah.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Request for payments. Can I have a vote or, I'm sorry. Oh, we missed public comment. Is there any public comment? Sorry. No public. Okay. Can I have a motion and read the budget adjustment of it's available, but okay, we have a budget adjustment for two different funds. Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, we have a budget adjustment on page 4 is the budget adjustment for the general operating fund for the fire department. Page 5 is the budget adjustment for the live fire training facility. So I guess you want to get the rest of them to approve them for discussion and go through all of them or shit.
Do you have a motion to approve the budget?
I'll make a motion to approve budget number 1.
We can do all.
That's all I want to choose the budget adjustment.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, motion by Fulham, second by Fox to approve the budget adjustments. Peter, why don't you go through it?
Okay, so on page 4, so I'm just gonna, the top line items are all revenues. We're increasing revenue from the city of Saugatuck, increasing revenue from Saugatuck Township, increasing revenue from the Douglas City or City of Douglas or Village of Douglas, or and then there's a small increase for fire services. Then there's an increase of revenue for inspection and plan review fees, an increase of revenue for cost recovery. Was an increase for federal grants. And there's an increase for other grants and donations and an increase of interest. Those are all increased revenues for $133,973. $937.65. And then we have some increase in expenses or decrease in expenses. So a decrease the board salary, an increase in the chief salary, a decrease in officer salary, an increase in career firefighters, full-time folks. There's a decrease in operational wages, an increase in paid on call stipend, Now my eyes are getting really bad. So then we have for fire calls, it's a decrease. Medical calls is an increase, a decrease in training, an increase in payroll taxes, an increase in employees' health insurance and benefits, a decrease in the worker comp insurance, an increase in retirement costs, an increase in operating supplies, a decrease in the telephone/cell phone modems, a decrease in utilities, an increase in vehicle and equipment repair and maintenance, a decrease in building security, a decrease in dues and subscriptions, an increase in technology/computer, a decrease in building inspections, an increase in the general liability insurance, an increase in the Michigan tax chargeback, an increase on the new truck payment. And then there's an increase in long-term capital, so that basically it's a balanced budget adjustment on the operating fund. And then with the live fire training facility, there's an increase in grants, and then there's an increase in expenses for maintenance, and that's also balanced. I don't know if anybody has any line item questions, or but when you get farther in with the revenue expenses, those numbers are already calculated for that budget, just the sheet that has the revenue expense side. I think overall the budget was in fairly good shape. It's like I've always said, we don't control where it's falling on the other end. So
Any questions? We have a roll call vote, please.
McLean, Poland,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Beckman,
Yes.
Ruffin,
Yes,
and Norton.
Yes.
moving on. We have accounts payable. Motion to approve the accounts payable, I'm sorry.
Scott's absence. I make a motion to approve accounts payable in the amount.
Anything in particular we should be aware of?
Go ahead.
To approve accounts payable in the amount of $125,350.20. I'll support.
Okay, a motion by Fox and then support by Beckman to approve accounts payable in the amount of $125,350.20. Is there any discussion?
Anything in particular we should be interested in, anything new or?
like what chief adding.
May I?
Yes.
You hear me better standing up.
Yes.
So you'll note on page 7 of 15, like D&L truck and trailers down in the bottom. You'll see a $14,000 repair. That was the unknown. It was just a series of things that broke down with the aerial ladder. It was significant, 14,000. You'll also see up about a third of the way up under extreme auto. You'll see that rocket replacement, the body work was done, that came in at 5,100. It was more extensive than originally thought. So it was about $1,100 more. So those are things that I think are notable to the board. My background.
We can hear.
We had some just unbudgeted expenses, kind of like calls, you never know what's gonna happen.
Thank you.
Everything else I think is. Pretty normal.
Any other questions?
Well, there's one, we had a $500 product from, so.
Yeah, get over it. Okay,
Too good to be true.
do we have? A roll call vote, please.
McLean, Fox,
Yes.
Beckman,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Ruffin,
Yes,
Poland,
Yes.
and Norton.
yeah,
Okay, good deal, Madam Chair.
thank you. Moving on, Peter, we have a financial report.
Yeah, so here's the financial report, page 11 to page 12. So basically, this includes the budget adjustment you folks just approved here moments ago. So overall, you can see on the revenue side, all the two cities and the township have paid all the taxes, the property taxes have been collected. There's, I just budget, I'm sure we'll have a few more in short-term rental inspections coming in, we'll have some more interest coming in. So basically, right now, with, we get all done, we're gonna be just probably shy of 1,850,000. Or no, I mean, 1,825,000. Because we originally budgeted taking $400,000 out of the fund balance to pay for the new truck. And then here's all the expenses that are listed, basically we have 6 more weeks of payroll, so basically it's just payroll, all the insurance are paid. Whatever calls that happen now in the next 6 to 7 weeks. Then the turnout gear, that's hopefully that'll be delivered by June 30th that we have in the budget, that's another big ticket out there, and there are a few more. Vehicle equipment and repairs, but then we flip it over to page 12 of 15. And you go down to year-to-date balance 531, or whatever that's up to date, go all the way to the bottom, you see the $14,000 parentheses. But I think we still got payroll for 6 to 7 more weeks, but originally we were budgeted to get into our fund balance by $400,000. I don't think, we're still gonna get into it, but it's nowhere near that amount, so I think overall we've done a pretty well job of what we have to deal with. I don't know if anybody has any line item questions or.
Any questions? Satisfied? Okay, moving on. Did you find your breath yet, Keith? All right, let's go over the chief's comments.
All right. So notable for all the board members and our audience. Highlights of the incidents were up about 5%. Last year, 2022, we were up 8%. You can see we are escalating as everyone around us. Friday turned out to be the busiest day of the week. It fluctuates, sometimes Monday, sometimes Saturday, now it's Friday. We actually had to add another staff member on Friday to cover all the influx of calls. Overlapping calls for 2023, we're averaging 34%, which is normal. Motor vehicle incidents, car crashes, 23 versus 18. That is up. And I'm not sure if Eric can validate. There you are. If the call last Thursday is in this or not.
It's only up to April 30.
Gotcha. So you add one more on that. So that's what I have for the statistics. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Community risk reduction. You will see in your packet. Now, Chris, can you turn that?
Sorry.
It's all right. What's notable on this chart is the amount of short-term rental inspections. Let's do Chris had a chance to
I think I went the wrong direction.
re-inspections and inspections.
There you go.
There are about 83 of them. This column and the last column. Just so you know, when I started this inspection program in 2010 under the fire board under Chief Lott, we had 72 inspections. We are 851 rentals that are registered. There are probably another 250 that are not registered. So, very notable, yes.
Reminder to us, how much do we get when we do an inspection?
So we're 150.
125 for the first and 75 for the second. We just worked on recalculating that last week, and we're gonna come with a proposal to raise it at the end of the year, I believe.
We usually,
How long does it take you man hours to do it?
It's a little over an hour per inspection,
How
from
many
the time the
guys,
application hits our door to going back to the municipality.
how many guys do that?
Me and Vernon, so he does a lot of the field work, and I do some as well too, so.
Are we fully loaded that number with equipment? Appreciation.
Yeah, I did exactly what you asked after the last, meeting. So
It seems like the department of all time to get an inspection 3 years for 3 years for $150.
and we've talked about changing that. I think we've gone back and forth on these prices. That's why I'm like drawing a blank on it. We used to not charge anything. You know, I was just talking to Grasscup, they charge $250. And they keep the money. They don't split with Lake Town. So it's all over the board. We typically reevaluate that in November with a recommendation by January to the board to keep it status quo or raise it.
So
So,
the average, when, I think. What,
Average.
300, like if I have a short-term rental, I have to pay
350.
300
You
and.
pay 350 to the municipality.
350, and the fire department only gets 125?
Yep.
Who gets the other? The municipality? And
and we do all the scheduling.
what skin do they have?
Pushing papers.
There is quite a bit of enforcement, at least in Douglas, in all three really, that the zoning administrator makes sure it's allowed and permitted in the actual zoning district first. And that's a bigger issue in like downtown Saugatuck where first floor rentals are not permitted than it is in the other two, I think, but, yeah, I don't know how much time they have, that would be a better question for each of them. But they do some paperwork processing and enforcement with that money and citing violations and chasing down people that don't have permits.
Saugatuck is engaged right now in their big short-term rental study. I think it's a propitious time for us to get in front of them and carry a few of these placards, carry a few of these notions.
Who sets the rate?
We get together, a committee gets together, which we did probably 2 months ago to discuss this, and everyone talked about elevating these because to pay that fee for 3 years, the biggest fear is once you leave that building as a fire department, smoke alarms aren't maintained. And when we started discussing this, implementing it, it was annually. Well, the consensus at the time was low impact implementation, low impact, no cost. Let's ease this in because there was no way out of selling these homes. That was 2009. As it's evolved, it's changed many things. I think we will all agree. And when you're talking about $3,000 to $7,000 a week, I think it's time to reevaluate this. And we've got in enough rentals to see that, oh my gosh, the smoke alarms aren't working. Here's something you need to consider staffing wise, and it's related to short-term rentals and construction. 2 of my people are essentially out of the mix. All he does is plan review. He backs us up on fire. Chris Bernardi is doing inspections. Tomorrow, I believe they're doing 2 or 3 hotels. Because it's that time of the year, we want to get before July 1st.
Right.
Yep,
Wouldn't it be better use of money to hire someone almost full-time to do that? That is not like a captain or someone that's somewhat in training? I give you a better, what I think is a better suggestion, and that is that you turn the inspection process back over to the cities. Let them hire somebody. Let them get that person. And then you can do this over a period of years, so it's smoothly done, but make it their job and their cost, because that's where it belongs. They only put it here because they ain't have any place else to put it. They want to get out from under. Yeah, but all 3 of them have different rules. And we have to pick up the pieces if something isn't right.
what we tried to allow with Kathy's question about the rate, we all got together and, city wanted to raise it when Cindy Osborne was at Saugatuck City. She wanted to raise it and it became $350. And then, but what we can't have is a different set of rules in township and a different set of rules in Douglas. We went through that when there was a change of staffing in the township. So right now they pretty much mirror.
Well, you could have difference, you could handle it if it wasn't us handling it.
Right.
Let them handle it, let them, if they're gonna create the rules, let
I
them
guess-
enforce them.
I guess whatever the consensus is, to us, I am opposed to zoning administrators enforcing a fire code, enforcing rules. We are the ones that are trained, we are the ones that are licensed, but I respect what any of you would think of somebody else should do. Either way, somebody's paying for it. And when I came on board in 01, there was a fire code adopted. This kind of segued or poured with the fire prevention code that we had when I joined the department, it was another extension of the fire department. We have had problems with zoning administrators, not to single them out, but they ones who, when there's no fire code, they're ones enforcing driveways. And I'm surrounded by 10-foot driveways that I can't get in. We're trained, we were hired as firefighters, EMS, and then fire inspectors. So if it's going to go with somebody else, they better have the credential to know what they're looking at.
Okay, here's the question. Does what we collect doing inspections pay for Chris's and Chris's?
No,
Why that should? I still don't understand why we get so little. Why we get like.
I think there was, everyone was scared to charge for a service from the fire.
It's the same reason why there's one inspection to cover 3 years. Nobody in their right mind would set it up that way today. Imagine one of these stupid short-term rentals with people packed into the gills. In its 3rd year, was inspected there for 30 months prior, because it didn't need to be inspected every year. That one goes up, half those people are killed or burned or whatever. And guess where they're gonna turn? Who inspected it? Really? When did you inspect it? Geez, hell, you have to look at smoke detector batteries every year, not every 3 years.
And fire extinguishers.
Same deal.
So it was kind of a low impact thing to where, no, it's like Chief Block at the time said, I don't want to charge because, hey, we're here, let's absorb it. Well, I think the fire department was horrible.
I was around when we first kind of started, and one of the things that our mentality was is a lot of the locals own these properties, they pay taxes, let's not stick it to them. We're way beyond that now, and I just don't think it's a good use of Chris Bernhardi's salary to go do these things when someone could be qualified and on a lesser pay scale, probably do it full time.
Maybe we should form a little committee on the board and investigate it further, and then come back to the board with whatever suggestion this committee has, and then you go to the township and say, okay, this is what we're doing, something about.
I don't think we need a committee. I think we need to, whoever gets together for this powwow to decide about charges. We have to make sure the person that does the inspection gets paid for by the inspection fee. Because we're not supposed to lose money on this.
No,
When we first started this program, we had members of realtors, we had individual property owners, we had planning commission members. And we actually had, like, for example, take an NFPA standard on fire extinguishers. Service was every year. I had a request from that committee, change that standard. We don't want it every year, we want it 3 to 5 years. Well, I'm not changing a national standard. We got beat up over $75 a year. This is big business, so I think it's time to reevaluate it. How I do. It's very profitable, and I have nothing against, this is America, that's fine. But at what point, as Peter taught me, at what point should the taxpayers shoulder and absorb the rental business? Because this whole town has changed.
Yeah.
It's here to stay, I understand that. I was a rental property owner for 28 years. What I'm saying is, it's time to reevaluate this. Number one, I believe it should be annual, and number two, you need to change the fees.
okay, so how do we go about instigating that? I mean, how are we gonna get to that committee? How often does this committee meet?
That was kind of organized, I think the last time we met, I think was organized by Ryan Cummins from Saugatuck City. Douglas was there, so we can reach out and find out.
I think that's a good idea.
When's the last time the fee was changed?
The fee,
Yeah.
Years ago, 2 years ago.
I think we kept it the same last year, it was 2 years ago.
Either 2020 or 2021, so it's been a little while.
We went from $250 for 3 years to $350. That was 2 or 3 years ago, I don't know.
Well, 2 or 3 years ago, the rent was here, and now it's up here.
Oh,
So things change, so we had to change. And I don't wanna see Craig Bernardi going to these freaking rentals to do inspections, and there's, or, that's like
Just
you call it.
Just scheduling, yeah, I just went to one last week.
Yeah,
It's unacceptable.
Scheduling one of those is quite a challenge too, because you get, well, I'm in Florida. I'm in Florida, so you get all these people in Florida say, oh, I want it done in June and July. I'm ready to say, we're not doing it in June and July.
No, they do it before then.
I'm not.
You get an agent, you get somebody else, no offense, however, it's a two-way street. And we'll have 40 rentals that, oh, I don't want it done until June, because they're gone. Well, I have that in 3 other communities.
Yeah, why do they have to be there? Just hand over the key.
Well,
Give us a knock.
no, I want to be there. Is that accurate, Chris?
Yeah, pretty close. Maybe we can figure out, come up with some suggestions with staff if that works, as well as this rental committee, and come back to a future meeting with a potential change in the fee.
Now's the time to strike, because
Yeah.
Douglas City's in the middle of it.
Right,
So I think this is something that needs to be in their bucket of things to look at, because we can't continue
Well,
to
it's
do
like
it.
this is using the little-
do you
Like,
feel you
sorry.
need the top people to do this for some reason, or do you, I mean, you're. You know, the top officers, or could it be the new people? I mean,
We have other fire inspectors that can do it. We could delegate it, yeah,
Well,
we
they
can,
have to be sent to training.
we can do that.
because it seems, I don't get it. I think it should be, this should be a little.
Well, we're very
I'm,
cautious
you're
about it.
very busy and they all.
Well, we're real cautious about it because of the inherent nature of a single family dwelling with 10 to 25 people in it. And the stuff, again, that we see is,
So you feel more comfortable making sure it's done by the letter, right?
absolutely, I'm not saying it can't be done by somebody, you know, that isn't a fire inspector. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, I wrote the rules. I know what they are. They're all posted, following the people they don't follow. So I don't know.
Have we ever had any, feedback of an accident or a fire that they came back and said, well, the inspector, I mean, has there been an incident of that or?
No, when we first started, we had people sleeping in basements, which is illegal even for your own home, people sleeping in closets with no windows. The biggest problem was the smoke alarms. As you know, on your own, smoke alarms is 10 years. And we also had houses that were old, where only smoke alarms were in the hallways. We required them to be in the bedrooms. Also, things changed. We were killing people with no CO alarms. CO alarms are required. Addresses. Nothing worse than Kathy having a renter going, I think my partner's having a stroke. Where are you? I don't know. We required something simple like, you are at 123 Apple Drive. Real simple. A dog ready to get out. You can't go up the stairway. It's doubtful you'll get out of any house fire now. Read the Sunday Sentinel, what happened with the family. So it's gonna be going more to the windows. They're putting 25 people in some of these houses because they're big. So how do I get 10 people out of the second floor? Can't even get the driveways of the cars. This whole thing has changed from the intent on when it was written in 2010.
And how do you know how many people are in the house?
The only way we know is when we're called in on a medical and we look at, it's floor to floor people. So it's something that we personally would like to see what in annual, whether we're gonna do it or they're gonna hire somebody else to do it. And follow the rules that are established. The problem you're gonna have is if everybody starts deviating. Oh, I don't think an escape plan is doing.
Right. Make it, can't we find a guy that's retired, inspector, and pay him? I still have a problem with Chris and Chris doing this. They're too valuable doing other things.
I think, I think you could, if somebody had to limit their income, you know, as long as you protect them with general liability insurance, or you're just gonna be paying a fee.
It's a full-time
Somebody.
job.
So
I know, but a part-time guy can do
it is possible, if the board directs me, so we can look into options, you know. Our experience with the surrounding neighborhood. Grass Cup, South Haven hired an inspector just for short-term rentals. They had to, they did.
it, and we're damn close to that. And what's that number gonna be? So the three municipalities have to cover that number at least.
That's one reason for, you know. Let's just talk about staffing, okay? So I have 4 to 5 on in any given day, right? Let's take a municipality with less than 900 people, they got 5 people in the office, 6 people at Department of Public Works and 20 people at another part of it. I'm expected to run the department serving 3 cities with 4 to 5 people, and at night I'm by a 4-on-1.
I agree with that, but you know what? That's on the cities, that's their problem. This is our problem.
Right.
And we need to address that. I don't care about what whataboutism. I don't care how many people are in that city. If there's an overstaffed in the township where I pay taxes, you're gonna hear about
Well, that's why I'm bringing to you, here's what I had to share with you. We need people to do it, we have to invest in people, no equipment. I'm asking you to invest in people, thus your Title V.
Okay, well, we need to get this meeting over so we can have a.
Michigan fatal fire statistics. So, we want to point that out, this is, as of May 7th, 52 deaths and 49 fires. It's an 11% increase in fires year to date. Not something we like to see. And then forgive me for. Look at the agenda. You'll like this. On the website. Chris has listed the blood pressure checks. I think we did that 2 months ago. But I encourage you to take a look at the website on what the team did. The fall statistics and the comprehensive program we have posted. This is just the first draft that's on there. It's so well done. I'm so proud of it. It seemed like we could get momentum up to this between Eric Urcher, Chris, Michelle, myself, and a few other people. It's on the website now. A respectable fall program. What's the #1 call in this fire department? Falls. What to do, what to look at, videos. As deep as you want, as superficial as you want.
even exercise. So YouTube exercise really, I think it's terrific.
The link came from you, so,
Not
yeah, you gave me that link a few months ago.
that one, because I just watched it today, unless I watched a different video today with the 2 guys.
Yeah,
Okay, moving on.
Next up is we received the grant award for the exercise equipment. We got another $11,000 on that. Certifications, very notable. These people went on their own time. First, Mr. Phil Dalton is in the audience. Phil, stand up, please. Phil Dalton has become an instructor 1, which is no easy feat. Congratulations, Phil. Worked with Phil a long time. Great guy. Also, our Kyle Meyer went from a medical first responder to an EMT basic. Again, he went to school on his own, just to upgrade his license. Very notable. A thank you extended to Ed Vandenberg, who donated a lift truck. I had been looking for a lift truck, cheap to move equipment around. Of course, nothing's ever cheap, nothing's ever free, but he did provide one for us to come back going. I am proud to share with you the Michigan Public Safety Drone Association, West Region host. We've been invited to host a regional drone program, West Side. The first meeting, I think, is July 12th. So we're gonna have that along with Plainfield Fire Department and some other fire departments as well. So
I don't know, you know.
So,
Very cool.
Where will that be held?
Here,
And
you're gonna train together. Thank you.
Kyle Meyer just came in, so congratulations, Kyle. Congratulations on your EMT. We're proud of you. Okay, moving on, you talked about the girl, right? We have no unfinished business. The only new business we have is to set the date for the 23-24 fiscal year budget approval public hearing, which will be June 19th, correct?
yep. Should be a
So-
sample motion on the last page, I believe.
There's a sample motion on the last page. Somebody would read that for us, please.
Tracy Aldrich motion to schedule the 2023-24 fiscal year budget hearing for June 19, 2023 at 4 p.m. at the Saugatuck Township Fire District Station. And to authorize fire district staff to publish the notices of the meeting on behalf of the fire board secretary.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Eldridge and second by Poland to set the date for the public hearing. Is the roll call
I
vote?
believe so, yeah.
We have a roll call vote, or is there a discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Poland,
Yes.
Beckman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Ruffling,
Yes.
and Norton.
Yeah.
That's it, Madam Chair.
Okay, we have no correspondence. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, fire board comments, Stacy.
I know it was a tough week for everybody and, I hope everybody's doing well. It was a horrible accident that happened in the township here on the street. And, you know, our thoughts are with you always and, we're here if you need, can think of anything we can do to help that situation. We're here to help, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric?
No, I agree with Stacy.
Dan? Kevin? Okay, I will take motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn today's meeting. Support.
Okay, a motion by Fox and support by Beckman. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Okay, 5 o'clock meeting will begin at 5.